That's the news you can really use.
Okay, we have nothing on this side.
Man, you've been spending countless hours on YouTube searching for encouragement and empowerment. I want to give you the tool that you need today. It's InTheHuddleOnDemand.com. Go to InTheHuddleOnDemand.com today for the encouragement and empowerment that you've been searching for. You can
Look at your phone
of what's been going on with In the Huddle with Chris Howell. Go and check it out today. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Commish? I see you, man. Yeah. It's the Commish radio show. Radio show. What's the Commish radio show? Radio show. What's the Commish radio show? Radio show. What's the Commish radio show? Radio show. I see. What's
So
the
we had a
Commish?
power sandwich.
This Polygenic fashionista.
Did it go out when them lights went out?
Yep.
Same time?
And that young strip on there, man. Young strip, nice. The Commish radio show. Radio show. What's the Commish?
Make sure you hit go live when you're ready.
Make sure what?
You hit go live whenever you're ready.
It happens when you're in the air. Put your name in it, please.
Got 50 seconds.
Just take the space out of Ruth and Torres.
Got 45
Now
seconds.
you gotta let this go like this. Gotta let it go. Play another one. There we go.
Got it. I got something to take his place just in case. Got 30 seconds.
Back again.
Same thing.
It's fetching the video stream. There we go.
Good.
I don't like all these close-ups. I look old.
Alright. Got 5, 4, 3.
Commish Radio Show back again. Commish Radio Show back again. We got this dual camera angle going on, and I was just teasing everybody saying, who's this old guy looking right back at me? And then it dawned on me, I saw my driver's license, and guess what? It was me. But then again, this is where we at, Commish Radio Show. We are here again on Thursday. We want to make sure that we get you totally in here. Let's go to this this spot right here, Jesse. I don't think this is working well for us. But meanwhile, we want to go ahead, and this is one angle we want to use. So meanwhile, we want to go ahead and thank all of those people who are listening out there in the Commish Nation land. Leave it alone, and we'll just go with what we have. I'd like to first of all thank Ed Wright. Ed Wright won the contest. Constable Ed Wright won the contest for the After 7 concert, which is in Fort Worth, Texas, tomorrow at Will Rogers Coliseum. So congratulations to Mr. Constable Ed Wright. Want to make sure that everyone understands what we're doing here on the Commish Radio Show. We are about social justice and politics. And as you know, you can catch me on Inside Texas Politics 9 on 8. Inside Texas Politics 9 on 8. And I talk about a lot of politics, obviously there, but this is where we've done this show as well, where you can catch us 1 to 3 in the Gray Stream, the Gray Bowl, on Saturdays, and also you can catch us from 5 to 6 right here again at the Fishbowl Radio Network. But that's on Wednesdays. But today is a special day, and today again is a very special day because we have Miss Ruth Torres, who's running for Dallas City Council. How you doing?
I'm great.
Good to
So
see
glad
you.
to be with you.
Good to see you. Well, you're running for District 5. You've been on the show before, so you wanted to come back again. You got a lot to talk about. What's going on?
I just want to have another opportunity to come out and speak with your listeners and share why I am the most qualified, ethical servant leader for this role. A lot of times, this is a very very important election. We historically have a very poor voter turnout in this district, in the citywide, but especially in this district. And so really want to get people informed, and also, you know, want to break through where people often vote because maybe they just know somebody, or they vote for people who maybe look like them or went to school with them. And I'm challenging them to be objective and really look at the facts, and, you know, because this isn't, you're not voting for who you like and who your friend is. This should be about who is the most qualified for this position, because this position makes important decisions that will affect people's lives in this district and in this city, and make decisions, very important decisions. And so it's important that that we have the most qualified ethical candidate in that role, and not just someone that you would vote to be your friend. It's not about voting
Wow,
for your friend.
now, let me ask you this. It's not about voting for your friend. Are you saying that's a lot that goes on in District 5?
I think that there is an issue there where, you know, people vote because they know them, or they went to school with them. And, you know, here's the reality is that if there were people in that district who've lived there their whole life, who cared about these issues and had been involved in these issues and had the capability to make impact on these issues, they would have and should have already, and they have not. And so that's why I recognize this district as having the need and having so much opportunity, and really needing somebody to come in and advocate for this district. And that's what you know, attracted me to this district, because I recognize its need, and how much potential, phenomenal potential that is there.
Where's District 5 at?
So
The geographical.
So it is southeast section of the city. So from 175 is the border, is the boundary that runs west as well as north-south, because it kind of comes at an angle. So that most of the district is to the east of 175. There's a small.
There you go.
Sorry,
Want to make
there's
sure everyone's able to hear you.
So it runs from 175. Most of the district is east of 175. There's a small portion that is just west of 175, and the northernmost road is Forney Road, and so that comes down until you meet Balch Springs. It's kind of some cutaways from there on Bruton. So we're sandwiched on with District 7. On two sides, and District 8 is below, and then to the east of that is Ball Springs.
And that's Pleasant Grove, correct?
Well, it's not just, it's Pleasant Grove, it's Urbandale, Piedmont Saline, so there's some various communities within the district. It's not entirely just Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove is one section of the district, but there's Parksdale, Urbandale, Piedmont Saline, so there's some other areas within the district.
Now, have you found that these communities have their own distinct concerns about who should be on the city council?
I think that, you know, there's a lot more activism and involvement on the northern section, where they actually have HOAs and Crime Watch. And so those are people who have a greater level of involvement and relationship with the political process. On the south end, there really isn't any, there's some beginning groups, but a much less formal development of Crime Watch and neighborhood associations. And so when the police and things come, you know, when different city services come out to service those HOAs and Crime Watch, well, that's a small portion of the district. And so there's a huge portion of the district that is not involved and not engaged. And so that's part of the problem, because people are not involved and engaged. Because they don't have these associations in this formal settings where they really unite to kind of deal with the issues.
How do we get people to be engaged in the process?
Well, that's a problem. That is challenging. It's challenging to get people to come out.
Right, because you're knocking on doors, or you're knocking on everyone's doors, or you just have your mix of people who voted in the last couple of elections.
Well, you do have to be strategic because
don't knock on doors where people don't vote.
Yeah, you can't. You got to be very strategic with your time. Time and money is limited resources, so it is strategic. It's not knocking on every door, because that right now it's about getting people to vote, and it's looking at, you know, who are those people who are really involved and engaged. But getting everybody to be out and involved on the issues is a totally different agenda. And so that's where you say, hey, listen, I need everybody, whether you vote or you don't vote, or whether you're eligible or not eligible to vote, still you're a resident of this city, you have issues that are affecting you and your family, and so we need you to be involved and engaged. And so part of that is reaching them where they are at. And so that's why when I had my community workshops, I hosted them in churches. One, because they donated me to the space, but two, because I wanted people to feel safe. And this is to me, your churches and your libraries, these are centers of activity within the community that people are the most comfortable with and the most willing to come out and engage. And so that was purposeful to have events at churches. And I think that we need to do much more partnership with the different existing organizations and community groups that are out there to engage the community and make them aware of of the issues and to get them involved.
Now, who's running in this election?
So, well, first of all, I'm running for the people. I don't look at it as that I'm running against people, but
Is the
there's
incumbent
3
running?
candidates. No, the incumbent, Mr. Callahan, is not running. So
Has
there's
he made an endorsement? Normally, people, when they're in office, they normally say, okay.
Well, he has not officially made an endorsement. I think publicly he said he's not making an endorsement, but I am aware that his former campaign manager is now Mr. Resendez's campaign manager. I am also aware that he has taken Resendez's signs, and he doesn't have it on his particular yard, but he has placed it on
Next
his
door.
neighbors' yards. So
Real close to his house.
Yes.
Right there on the edge, so it'd be like, it's not on my property line.
it's clearly on 2 or 3 different neighbors around him. He's put it on their yards. I did notice in the personal financial statements that he's donated the same amount to both Mr. Resendez and Ms. Williams. But
You didn't get any of that money?
oh no, absolutely not.
He's hedging his bet, huh?
I'm sorry.
He's hedging his bet, either one of them.
I guess I guess so. I don't know. You'd have to probably ask him.
Okay. Now, endorsements, what endorsements have you received?
So organizational endorsements, I'm very proud of the ones that I have. I am running as an independent, and that's important to me. I am running
But isn't
for,
this nonpartisan? Or no?
It's nonpartisan, but a lot of times it's supposed to be nonpartisan.
Right.
But I get that question very frequently is to what is my political party? It's important to me that because I look at character, I look at the individual. I don't vote on party lines. I don't vote based on race or name. I do really look at the individual. And
Yeah.
so.
And I'm looking at your flyer,
Mhm.
and you say qualified, and then you say ethics, ethical servant leader. You saying that prior people were not qualified? Well, obviously they qualified. They were there. Ethics. Is there an issue there in the district?
So.
I know the mayor said there was a district a problem with southern sector politicians. We clearly stated that. So.
Well, I don't think that there's. I don't think that.
Not that I
ethics
believed
is-
them, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, that's what we said.
I would not say that ethical issues are isolated to any part of the city. I think that is throughout, and I think we've had a number of issues with ethical concerns out of City Hall, and so and not just in Dallas. The Richardson mayor also.
That was in Northern Dallas.
That was in Northern Dallas. So
Northern Dallas County.
yeah, and so in those situations that happen, wrong is wrong and right is right, and I don't care what your political party is. I don't care what you've done. There's no excuses for when you violate the trust of the people that voted for you and that you're supposed to be representing. I do see a difference between when a minority does these things, their name is blasted. But when you talk about the North Dallas, what's that
Nobody
mean?
ever heard anything
We,
about
we, we may say the title, the Richardson mayor, but the name is not it's not blasted the same way as the application of the accountability also differs. I would say that, but so in terms of why I have picked these words to designate myself qualified ethical servant leader, when I look at the 3 people that are running for this race, I bring qualifications that they clearly do not have. I have over 20 years of business experience. I have worked with corporate America and C-suite executives for over 20 years. And so
You're using the word C-suite. Some of the people at home may not know what
Oh, I'm sorry.
C-suite.
Senior executives, worked Fortune 100 companies.
Anybody
So-
that has a C in front of their name, like Chief Executive Officer, Chief Compliance Officer, the chiefs, the C-suite. Go ahead.
Right. So, thank you. So I'm used to working with senior level executives. I've opened up several dozen locations over the years, and I've unfortunately had the experience of closing quadruple probably that amount more that closed than I've opened. But that provides me with a unique experience in understanding what it takes for a business to really come into a location. And so that's significant because of the issues that that are so needed in District 5 in being economic development. Now, economic development needs to be balanced, so we're not giving away City Hall to developers without ensuring that there is equity in that and quality of life. But I bring the experience of bringing solutions. And my experience in business, my ability, usually I've been the only woman and minority at the table with the senior executives. And I have learned how to reach across the aisles and to influence leaders and to speak their language and to unify people who, you know, there's always all kind of dynamics at play, all kind of power plays, you know, when you're dealing with C-suite. And so I've had that experience of working through that and working through those dynamics to achieve a common goal.
Okay.
Even in my business and what I specialize in my human resources consulting firm is legal, is employee relations, legal compliance, and culture change. And so those are skill sets that I bring that uniquely qualify me for this role.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk about, we'll continue our conversation, the contrast between yourself and the other candidates running in race. All right?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ruth Torres, and I'm seeking the honor to represent the people of District 5 with Dallas
Got
City
the mics
Council.
muted?
I'm a single mom and a businesswoman.